One of the oldest memories I have isn't Christmas. It isn't a birthday. It isn't even a family vacation. It's a frog. Yes, a frog, jumping over my legs while my mother hung laundry on a clothesline. Funny thing is, I can't tell you how many loads of wash she did that day. I don't even remember what month it was. I don't remember what year it was. Oh, but I remember that frog. I remember the grass. I remember the sheets moving in the spring or summer breeze. Heck, it even could have been fall or winter. I've noticed something about memories. The moments that shape us the most are rarely the finished ones. They happen somewhere in the middle, before completion, before perfection, before everything comes together the way we think it should. Years ago, people would hang sheets between two trees and call it a movie theater. No surround sound, no stadium seating, no giant screen, no food service, just white sheets stretched between two trees. Oh, and families gathered, children ran through the grass or mud, someone would start the projector. And somehow that was enough. Nobody stayed home waiting for a bigger, better theater to be built. Nobody postponed joy until they could afford something nicer. They simply enjoyed what they had. Now, my father understood that. He was a design engineer. He spent his days designing and solving problems. Then he would come home and build. Weekends, evenings, whenever there was time. Back then, I thought I was helping him build a house. But now, looking back, I think he was teaching me how to build a life. Because life is rarely finished. There's always another room, another project, another goal, another dream still under construction. The house I grew up in wasn't completed all at once. For a long time, we lived in unfinished spaces, especially the basement. That basement wasn't beautiful. Nothing about it looked complete. The floors were concrete, the walls were unfinished, studded out for future rooms. There was exposed wires overhead, bare light bulbs hanging from the ceiling. And the smell. The concrete dust, old lumber, and mildewed winter coats. By today's standards, it probably would not make any magazine. That's where some of life happened. Behind our house was a pond, and every winter we watched, waited, days, weeks. We waited for the ice to get thick enough. And when it did, the skating parties began. Friends came over, ice skates were laced up, laughter echoed across the frozen pond. And afterward, everyone headed to our unfinished basement for hot cocoa. I remember hanging those sheets across the unfinished walls. Not because it was beautiful, not because it was finished, just because it was enough. And people came. That's what I remember the most. Not the basement itself, not the exposed wires, not the concrete floors, or the studded out walls. I tried to remember exactly when that basement got finished, and honestly, I can't. But I do remember the people, the parties, remember the laughter, the conversations, the transistor radio. I remember feeling like I belonged. And maybe that's the lesson. A finished house can still be empty. An unfinished basement filled with laughter can feel like a home. Somewhere along the way, we started believing that life begins after completion. After the house is finished, after the debt is paid, after the promotion, after the retirement, after the timing is perfect, after everything finally comes together. But what if that's not true? What if life was never waiting on the other side of completion? What if life has been happening all along? Well, today I'm building another unfinished house at 70 years old. Yeah, some of my friends think I'm crazy, and maybe they're right. But standing here in the middle of the Texas Hill Country, surrounded by dirt work, plans, budgets, and delays, and a lot of decisions to be made, I've realized something. Why, I've spent most of my life surrounded by unfinished things. Unfinished houses, unfinished dreams, unfinished projects, unfinished people, including myself. And maybe that's exactly how life was meant to be. Because completion is never guaranteed. There'll always be another thing to build, another improvement to make, another problem to solve, another chapter to write. Life isn't what happens after completion. Life is what happens while you're building, while you're waiting, while you're trying to figure it out, while you're making do with what you have, before the money, before the timing, before the plans come together. Because someday isn't promised, but today is here, right now, and life is happening now, not after completion, not after perfection, now. So maybe the goal isn't to finish everything. Maybe the goal is to live fully while still unfinished. To gather people in a basement, to watch a movie on a sheet, to skate on frozen ponds, to sit beneath unfinished rafters, to enjoy the season you're in before it's gone. Because one day, when all that's left are memories, you probably won't remember the completion date. You'll remember the frog, you'll remember the people, and you'll remember the moments that happened while you were still building.
Down by the pond where the cattails sway lives an old frog who remembers the days, not the dates and not the years, but laughter carried on the breeze. He sits on a lily pad every night, croaking stories to the fireflies. If you listen close when the moon hangs low, you might hear a memory you used to know. What does a frog keep under a log? Not treasure, silver or gold. He keeps the summers we thought we'd lost, and the stories that never grow old. Croak once for the clothesline dancing, croak twice for the skates on the pond, croak 3 times for the people we loved, who somehow still sing along. He remembers tire swings in oak tree shade, front porch evenings and lemonade, barefoot races and fishing poles, and all the little things that made us whole. The funny thing is we didn't know those ordinary days would glow. We were busy trying to hurry along while the frog was saving every song. What does a frog keep under a log? Not treasure, silver or gold. He keeps the summers we thought we'd lost, and the stories that never grow old. Croak once for the clothesline dancing, croak twice for the skates on the pond, croak 3 times for the people we loved, who somehow still sing along. Maybe they gather year by year, waiting somewhere by the reeds until we're old enough to see. What does a frog keep under a log? The answer is simple, you see. He keeps the moments we almost missed, then croaks them back gently to me. Croak once for the childhood wonder, croak twice for the years gone by, croak 3 times for contentment found before completion arrives. Funny thing about memories, they look ordinary while you're making them. We've been waiting on a moment when it all feels right, but you don't need completion, just the start of your life.
Don't wait on perfect timing,
Don't wait till it's all done. You can live right now, right where